Here's former Vancouver Canuck and TSN hockey analyst, the one and only Mr. Frank Corrado, who joins us from Utah.
Oh,
yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I would ask how you guys are doing, but I know the answer.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chaotic market right now. There's soccer fever. There's hockey drama. It's busy in Vancouver these days.
Yeah.
You know what bugs me? The only time the Canucks make like mainstream news is when it's a circus.
Right.
It's an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
And
Didn't
that's
always
what it
be
is.
that way. Yeah.
No, it didn't used to be that way. It used to be the Canucks are one of the most skilled teams in the NHL, and you have to watch them play. You have to stay up and watch these guys. And now it's like, we'll do the soap opera stuff during the day. And maybe you'll stay up and watch just to see how apathetic things are or how much worse it can get. Like, what are the facial reactions? That's not what the fans in Vancouver smart fan base deserves. They deserve a way better situation.
When
than this.
O-Dog starts texting Matt and I,
Oh,
then
no,
we'll
yeah.
know it's
You know
really,
that's a problem, yeah.
Because during the Benning era, we used to get texts from O-Dog going, what is going on there?
Yeah.
And that's the canary in the...
I've yet to have an O-Dog text this year, but clearly one is coming here in short order.
I'll bet you Farhan got one.
Yeah,
I'll bet you he
maybe.
reached out to Farhan.
Yeah.
Are you saying O-Dog likes Farhan better than Blake and me?
Oh, it's in the family, at least. It's in the company.
Yeah, it's all, come on, it's all in the same here.
Yeah.
Those hours spent at the Elbow Room in Fort Lauderdale with O-Dog.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Quite an investment.
Yeah.
When you were with the Canucks, because you were with them at a very heady time, they were, cutting edge on fatigue management. They were winning all these games, President's trophies. The Twins were here, good trades. They were finding a way to, the loopholes in the salary cap and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like
so many cigarettes, so many cashews, like all the data.
Were you sort of aware? Were you aware what you were in the midst of? Like, was it palpable as a Canucks player that you were in a best-in-class organization at the time, Frank?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I can't say that emphatically enough. Like that was the case. You could tell everything had a purpose and they were trying to get an edge on the league. And try and push the envelope as far as what human performance can be. And there was this great, like, I've said it to you guys before, but it just felt like this is our way of doing things and we believe in it and we know it's going to work and we just need everyone to buy into it. There was that type of mentality, which is a great thing to have in an organization, right? Like, you bring in young players that get drafted, or you sign guys as free agents. Everyone's coming from something that they know, but they don't know what you're doing. And the quicker you get them, kind of acclimated to our way of doing things, well, first of all, you have to have a way of doing things that like makes sense to people and everyone can buy into. If you don't have that, then it's difficult. It's a bunch of players and individuals that come from everywhere that are trying to do their best without a singular kind of goal or focus. And I don't know, they're in a weird spot. It is so much different, from the outside. I was on the inside then, but looking at it from the outside, it's so much different than what it used to be. And it's honestly, it's kind of sad to be truthful about it, but I don't know.
You've probably been in a number of rooms where trade rumors are swirling. It's a little different, I think, when the president just comes straight out and says, "Yep, we're going to be moving bodies here soon." What do you think it is like on a game day as it is today for the Vancouver Canucks to be in that room when they know trades are coming?
Yeah, it's tough because it's also weird, Blake, because you can say that trades are coming, but then if you look at the Canucks, you're like, how many guys have no move clauses? Is it Pettersson, Besser, DeBrusk? Evander Kane's got a 16 team. Drew O'Connor has a 12 team. Bluger has a 12 team.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking? Marcus Pettersson, no move. Hronek, no move. I mean, Myers, no move. Lankinen, no move. Demko's no move kicks in next year. I mean, maybe that makes guys feel a little easier about the situation, knowing that you want to trade me, I'm a veteran, great, I'm going to have to sign off on it, so bring me your best offer and try and convince me otherwise. But I mean, if you're I think it just kind of, if you're a player in that situation, you can hear the circus music and you have to do your best to tune out that. And for every game that goes bad and it gets worse, you're like, that circus music gets louder and harder to tune out. Now, you put together a couple of good games in a row, all of a sudden, like that certainly helps things, but it's the teeter-totter right now. Like, which way does it go? Does it go drastically one way and negatively? That seems more likely than, given everything that's going on, it seems more likely than it kind of going on the up and up.
Let me ask you this. They're like the 5th or 6th youngest team in the league by nightly roster. Rutherford says he wants to trade veterans out, not Quinn Hughes, and get younger. Does it make sense to you? Do you understand the path they're trying to forge?
No, I don't. Because if you're going to trade a veteran guy, I mean, at this point, Hughes is the guy that brings you the most value. Duh. Like, thanks for pointing out the obvious. But if you kind of peel it back a bit, like, if you're trying to make a Hughes trade today, you can maybe convince a Carolina that, hey, he might walk to New Jersey in 2 years, but guess what? You're going to get him for playoff run 1 and 2, no matter what. It's kind of similar to the Juan Soto deal that the Padres did. No, full well knowing that, okay, we have a chance, maybe, but he might sign with the Yankees. Okay, we know how that turned out. Well, I mean, it's more complicated than that, but he wasn't a Padre for long, I guess, is the point.
That's right.
Yeah, and so now you want to trade veteran guys that make your team better and younger. What do you have to offer that a team is looking at saying, you know what, I cultivated a talent and I drafted him and I developed him, and he might pop soon, but you know what? I need one of Vancouver's underachieving vets. So I'm going to throw this guy that way and I'll make a trade with them. It just, I don't see how it doesn't make sense. And how can you say that, or how can you imply that we're going to trade our vets? We're open to trading our vets, but we haven't given up on the season. Well, yeah, you have. You're bottom 5, bottom 3 team in the NHL. And you're moving vets. That is the definition of, we're punting and we're going to try and recalibrate this thing. It just, I don't know. It's a bizarre situation to me. You know what bugs me? You know what bugs me, just real quickly? It's that there's a lot of people that their names get dragged through garbage because of these types of decisions. And it's like people get associated with it, and then their reputations kind of get soiled because of it. And it's not fair to a lot of people that have to put their names on these types of things.
Let me ask you the counterintuitive conspiratorial question that Rutherford isn't necessarily allowed to rebuild by his owner. So this is his way of sort of low-key rebuilding without using the word rebuild per se, and running a narrower channel. With regards to keeping Hughes, but trading other vets to keep sort of both masters happy, the fan base and the ownership group.
The reality is a rebuild starts with trading players and drafting high. Does it not? Right? Like you trade off guys and eventually you draft high. Whatever you want to call it, that's what it looks like. So what will the Canucks do? They will trade players, hopefully, and they're going to be bad and they're going to draft high. Now, ideally, if you were going to do it properly, you would stay with that for maybe a couple more years and accumulate more high-end players. And then once you feel like you have everything sorted out, you have a clean cap situation, you have young players that are ready to make the jump, you have, good veterans that you feel like are the right guys to be around young players because they can't do it alone. Once you have that, then it starts to all come together. And everyone comes up together, and you have a team that is good for a long period of time, extending your window. But if you take shortcuts along the way, then you risk that window becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. So I don't know. Like we'll see how it all plays out, but they're going to fall backwards into the first step, if you want to call it that, by just playing bad enough that they're going to draft high.
And there's teams like Boston that just never seem to need to do this. I don't know how that happens, but they just stay there. You're right. Quinn Hughes brings in the biggest haul, but I think you can quite easily trade Evander Kane and Kiefer Sherwood. Like those two guys are eminently marketable. Everybody will be interested in acquiring them. It's just, I guess, what are you getting for those guys? Is that the question?
I think that's the question. Yeah, like what are you getting for? Also, what are you getting for Evander Kane? I mean,
you might just be able to get out from under, but yeah.
Right. Has he been productive? Not really. I mean, he's been hurt a lot also, but he hasn't really been productive. Kiefer Sherwood, I think teams really would love the package that he brings to the table. Like, even if the shooting percentage comes back down to earth in a big way, which it's going to come down, but he leads the NHL in hits. Yeah. So what to a certain degree, what you're getting, but the package that Vancouver wants to get most likely would include, I want the Kiefer Sherwood package that is the goal scorer plus the hitter, where teams are like, well, I'll give you half the goal scorer plus the hitter type package. You know what I mean? Because I know, man, this guy could come into my team and all of a sudden shooting percentage comes down and it's just the way she goes. So that's, I think, the risk you run there. Connor Garland, really good player. His no move doesn't kick in until next year. I'm sure there would be a lot of teams that would find use for him, especially at a $6 million cap hit. You can digest that, but you have to be willing to make the move.
Is there anybody out there that you've heard dangled that looks attractive at all if you were an acquiring team? You're shopping
like
right now.
Guys?
Yeah.
Like young guys?
That fits the bill.
The thing, the kid out in Winnipeg, Brad Lambert, is that one's kind of been out there, and he's good young player, but he falls into that category of like a maybe. He maybe could work. He hasn't really taken the jump yet. And if you're Vancouver, like, do you want to trade these guys for maybes? Like, are you trading them for possibilities? I guess you might have to at some point if that's where everything kind of lands. But I would like something that's a little more of a sure thing. But it's hard. If I'm a team looking to acquire Quinn Hughes, like I was thinking about this, like Carolina would make a lot of sense. Because they're all like, it seems like they're in that win now mode and they've taken big swings. So why not take another big swing? And if you've looked at the East this year, it's completely wide open and there for the taking. Like if I could try and conjure up a package from them, that's the first team I'm calling.
I saw Jay Fresh wonder about Detroit too, with where they are in their team cycle and the assets they have to spend.
Well, I was wondering about Detroit because they have money to spend for sure. Like they have a really nice cap situation. They got really good young players, but Detroit's doesn't feel like a sure thing as far as going deep into the playoffs the way Carolina does. Like there's still skepticism with Detroit. And are you going to give up a Sandin Pellikka or a Danielson or a whoever for 2 years of Quinn Hughes? I guess you would. Like you would. The answer is yes, but do you have the team that could go deep in the playoffs when you haven't even been there for the last 9 years?
Let me end with you. My last question, Frank. And we're going to end on glass half full, okay? We've been a little dour on this interview, the three of us. So let's end on a happier note here, Frank. Well, they may not have a second line center to peddle. This is a big-time seller's market right now. There have been a lot of teams that have been looking to improve throughout the summer and throughout the first quarter of the NHL season that just haven't been able to find trade partners. Calgary is stuck in its own, we don't want to tear down rebuild. Nashville doesn't want to face reality. It seems like Doug Armstrong in St. Louis is the only guy saying, hey, I'm open for business and willing to sell parts. Could you not take advantage of a pretty good, if not great, seller's market right now? And get more than your fair share on guys like Connor Garland and Kiefer Sherwood than you would in a more competitive seller's marketplace?
Maybe. Like your theory is correct, but when you look at who's being offered, I think if I go back to July 1st, okay, teams had all this new money to spend, and we have seen GMs spend horrible money in the past and put themselves in cap hell. And you know what GMs did? They took a more measured approach to things and said, I'm not going to overspend just to overspend. I'll keep myself with a little bit of wiggle room. Why is that relatable now? Well, just because Vancouver has a couple players available that are veteran guys in a seller's market, do I need to spend the assets now, or can I wait for something that I really like to come up in the future? Because if it's just if I think based on my group, it's a lateral move or something that improves me like 0.1%, why am I doing it? Even though it is a seller's market. Like, I think it's still, you have to have something to sell, in order to really get that
Sherwood and
full
Garland
value.
are something to sell, Frank. Like, they're not bad players in the least.
Sherwood and Garland are, but I guess
beyond that, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Beyond that, and are they going to do the Garland? Like, is that where they're going to go?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
They have the appetite to do that, because if they want to be good next year, I mean, you kind of need Garland. Like, Sherwood's different because he's going to make way more money and, big contract. And like, if you're really committing to this thing, then yeah, Sherwood and Garland and, I mean, Evander Kane, all these guys gotta go.
I'm with you. What is the actual commitment here? How far are you willing to go? Because if it's just UFAs, it's Sherwood that should return a nice package. Maybe somebody falls in love with the size, quote unquote, physicality of Evander. But other than that, you're really not peddling much of value. Thank you for this, my friend. You enjoy Utah, all right? And we'll catch up with you next week.
All right, boys. I'm going to go have a smoke, maybe some cashews.
Hey, before you leave, forgot to ask him about this, because you played in the KHL.
Yeah.
Are cashews and cigarettes a thing in Russia? Like, I know there's a lot of smokers, but like, are cashews a popular snack?
I didn't see a lot of cashews. No.
No.
I saw darts everywhere and vapes.
Yeah. So you're telling me, like, the fellas, like, after a big win, they're not like, hey, let's go drink some vodka, smoke some cigarettes, and eat some cashews?
Cashews was 1/1,000,000th on the list of things that people would like to enjoy after a game in Russia.
Okay.
Nutty insider, Frank Corrado.
Just let our mind wander about those other million things. Could they be? Thanks, Frank.
See you, boys.